not two. Today we got three. On the chat. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our first ever effing product update. We got three on the chat. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our first ever effing product update. We got three on the chat. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our first ever effing product update. We got three tabs.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to our first
That's a lot of looping.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
it's over.
Wow. Loopy.
Hold up. Let's just enjoy
We're
this
back
for a second. We're gonna start over, y'all. Okay. This is what happens when you have like 8,300 tabs open in different settings in different places. And it wouldn't be fitting to have a product update stream with having a little bit buggy problems, because that's what happens all the time when you're building products. So anyway, what's up, Joe? What's going on, Alex? Hello. How are y'all doing today?
Doing very well. Excited for this first ever product update stream. And This is the first of many. Every single month we're going to be doing this. So welcome to number one.
Nice. Alex, what's up?
I'm super excited that this is something that I'll be regularly here. So yeah, super great to be here.
It's already been dubbed. Maria's saying Alex has to also dance live. That's what we are really here for.
We
need the Finsweet flex. That's right. What's up? Joseph Bates is in the house from Southern Utah. Hello, St. George. Just a couple thoughts. We're here and excited to do this, but we're not offering any support during the stream. So if you're asking support questions, we will not be answering those. We're just going to ignore them. So literally, if we see them in the chat, we'll just pretend like they don't exist. But we will answer technical questions about Webflow and questions about how to approach technical stuff. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can get started as a developer and resources that are available. So we'll talk technical stuff. We just won't handle any direct support. So just a heads up on that. Hey, Finsweet tuning in from the UK. Awesome. Hello, Disruptive Social. Penny is in the house. Hello, Harsh. Flow Agency. Hello. Eli Roberts in the house. Daniel Brosnio is here. What's up? John Saxton. Spencer's in the house from Minneapolis. Hello. Eric Odom. What's good, Finsweeters? Checking in from Texas. Hello from Switzerland, says Geronimo. Bullshark, sup from OZ. Looking forward to it. Zach Bujazia, if you throw pineapples at me, I swear. Joe's got some pineapples, I think, right? You owe the community some pineapples here, I think.
I do. We're going to talk all about product in the first part of this stream. And then once we're done with all the product updates, we're going right into pineapples and pizza. I did a lot of work last night to prepare some pizzas, some salads, and it's all documented with a little presentation. Nice. So we'll be doing that towards the end. Definitely stick around for that.
Great.
So that's the actual goal of this stream, not the product updates. Yeah.
That's right.
The most important part.
Let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it real. Fin Fam. Okay. Hello, Sean. I like that. That's got an interesting little ring to it. Hello, Tanette. Can't wait to see what Joe dishes up. My body's ready for product culinary stream. Christian, Caleb. Wow, so many people. Lucas, Josh. All right, that's enough. Let's jump into the mix of it today. We don't have a whole lot of announcements, but we do. We're launching this little attributes thing. Do we want to mention that, or do we want to just start the show with that? How do you want to start out?
Yeah, let's go right to my screen share. And let's go through this landing page. Let's talk about what we have.
Okay.
This is the ASS launch, the automated support service. Help yourself in minutes. Don't wait hours for support. As attributes becomes more and more popular, we're finding that support times increase. We also don't have the resources to just grow a giant support team for a free product. So what do? We build a tool so that you can help yourself. And that's exactly what automated support service is. So as I continue scrolling down here, first let me say this is live on the attributes site. You can follow along. There's a new support tab right here on the nav.
Can we send the URL?
We can. Chat? Yeah, let me go and do that. Here we are. And this is all you have to do to start the automated support service. You add this query, fs attributes support equals true, to any webflow.io link. And what this is going to do is launch the support service directly on the page. and it will help you identify the issue. You tell us what the configuration is, what you're trying to do, and we will return what is wrong with the setup. Did you spell something wrong? Is this not correct? Is this on the wrong element? And we have error messages to help you go and fix that issue. Features with also some screenshots. Automatically detect attributes on the page. So every attribute that we find on your page, we will tell you it's on the page and you can start working immediately. You can tell us what the configuration is. You have a list. Are you using an active state? Do you want to show query? Do you want to format the tag? Tell us everything. We'll tell you if that is correctly set up. Quickly reference documentation. So instead of going back and referencing the docs, seeing if it's correctly spelled, right here we have a quick reference to the docs as well as going to the docs. Multiple instances. Some people we've seen 2, 3, 4 different instances of the same attribute solution on a page. This does support that. And we have success states, of course. When you're right, we tell you. And when you're wrong, we tell you. So this is an effort really to let you help yourself in a much quicker time period than human support. It only works on webflow.io links, so you never have to worry about it accidentally showing up on a live custom domain name. It is available in all projects using attributes. You don't have to add any additional scripts. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to do anything. It's already there. Once you put that query, the attribute script is going to go and get this tool for you, put it on the page, and then you can start using it. Does not impact load time or attributes performance. This is completely separated. Don't think that this is hurting your implementation at all. It's actively maintained for all attribute solutions. That includes new attributes that we add to solutions as well as brand new solutions. And we do have human support still available. We're not closing support. We are just making it available for Finsweet Pro users. And the Finsweet Pro users pay us, so that will now help us hire more support people and give support to a smaller subset of people. So this tool is available for everybody. Human support just for pros. Adding the query. You can go and add a URL right here and copy that URL. If you're unsure how to add a query, just copy paste that webflow.io and there you go. You can generate it. You can also generate a browser bookmark. And what this will do when you put this as the URL of your browser bookmark, it's going to take any webflow.io link and it's going to add this query at the end of it. So you can just quickly launch support right through a browser bookmark directly on the page. Nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are ways to add the query. Okay, now last part of this, let's talk a little bit about human support. This is still going to happen. We still have our regular support team. They are going to be addressing problems for today. Starting next week, we will make this transition and migration to Finsweet Pro only. And we have some human support expectations here that are very important. We will always do our best to help you with your implementation. There is no guarantee that we can support and fix your issue, and there is no guaranteed response time. We cannot guarantee that your unique use case will be satisfied. And we always recommend using the AS before the human support tool, because in most cases, you can solve your own problem in less time than human support. We are finding that a lot of support requests are very simple things. You missed an attribute, you misspelled something, you really small things that the tool can pick up on. So our human support means a human will always do their best to help you with your implementation if you are a pro. And that is still happening in Slack. And that's the landing page. There you go. It's right here if you want to review this information. And if you want to start using it, it is right here for you. Questions? Do we have anything in the crowd?
other than just, people excited and saying
Right.
things we maybe shouldn't say on
One thing to mention though is that community might still be able to help you if you're not a pro.
Correct.
So I mean, because in the Slack channel we have a community channel, and there's a lot of active people in there. Maybe our team is not going to help you, but I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people willing to help you anyways.
Yeah.
100% yes. Yeah. We want to have a very open channel for support, whether we're supporting you, the community supporting you, we have moderators supporting you, whatever. And we're going pro only because, yeah, we've been saying it since the day we launched pro that we want to give the most value to our pro members. Anybody that has supported us in this pro initiative, we are now trying to actively give back to you. And that means we now have more support resources for you. That means we may be able to help you more with an attributes API implementation. So if you're not a pro and you are looking for that human support, you got to sign up for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what you'll see, so let's talk people through just a little bit what will happen if you're in the Slack channel. So we're going to launch a new pro-only support channel in the Slack. We will also migrate some of the existing support channels into their own standalone channels and encourage folks from the community to lead that stuff. So those will stay open for anybody in the community who wants to ask questions. And what we'll actually start looking for on top of that is folks who stand out or people who are in the pro community who maybe want to take the next role in Finsweet and start becoming moderators of the community, or want to kind of elevate that standing, with us. And maybe we start a little inner circle of folks that are super ninjas in this stuff, and we can offer support, and we'll find ways to incentivize that behavior. So, this doesn't mean the end of support. This just means that we're going to prioritize the pro stuff, and we'll still try to support community generated activity around the edges of the rest of that. But if you're in the Slack and you've seen it over the last few weeks, you've seen it grow and get super busy in there. And it's just overwhelming for us, as well as I think everyone in there, to try to support everyone at a certain level. And so we're just going to make that shift here. And so we'll keep you all up to date as that rolls out, but expect that to happen starting when? I think right today and going into next week, right, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. By next week, we are going to make this transition in full, and we'll be very clear who the support reps are. So you'll be able to tag them, you'll be able to communicate with them, and we will now have the ability to give you more time. So instead of waiting, let's say a few hours or a few days for support, we just want to cut that in half, because now we have a smaller pro group to work with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Daniel's asking a good question here. He says, are you planning to direct the time and energy saved by the ask towards more FN products or client work? That's exactly what this is for, is just to free us up. Were, and this is probably the case. We talked about this the other day, and we'll probably talk about this a little more as you get into technical stuff. A lot of times, it's the implementation. It's not necessarily the product failing. Alex, I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but a lot of times it is something simple, like it's just a semantic thing. Somebody forgot a comma, or they misspelled a little word, or they left the attribute on a child element instead of the parent element. So this will help free all that up.
And actually, it has happened to me a bunch of times that a user reports something, and I go and I see that report, and I say like, oh, there's a bug in the code. Oh my God, I need to fix that. And I'm running to the code base. I'm making a lot of tests. I'm trying to find the bug. And after all, it was just the user having missed an attribute or something like that. And I even missed it. So it's a lot of time that you spend, and most of the cases it was not worth it for that. So it's definitely going to help our team improve a lot with this.
Nice.
And the way that I check implementations is Inspector. I found it the quickest way is to open up Inspector, do the searches for the required attributes, and then report back to the user on the support issue. But this literally automates that process, where you just click some buttons of what's supposed to be there, and we run all of those manual checks automatically in one check.
Yeah.
So it's really, when you don't have the money to go and hire 20 more support people, you have to automate that. So we've now automated that with a tool like this.
Nice.
Yep.
And don't sleep on that bookmark option. That was like that was like the key thing
Yeah.
for me. Like having that little dynamic JavaScript bookmark that anytime you're on a webflow.io link, you just click that bookmark and it'll append the.
Can we show it?
Yeah.
We can.
Joe, do you want to pull your screen back up here and we'll jump into that?
I can. Yes.
Get rid of this.
So here we go. I have.
You'll have to show your bookmarks.
I have to show my bookmark bar.
Dare you? Oh, I might have to then open this up to show the bookmarks. Hang on.
No, it goes under. I think we're good.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm not a book. Oh, show bookmarks bar. There we go. Okay, so I'm on a webflow.io link, and all I have to do is click my little support tool, and I can't show this to you, can I? No, this doesn't come up in screen share. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this support, and now this page reloads with the support tool ready to go. And I can see we have disable scrolling and we have table of contents. So that's it. Webflow.io link. I click this bookmark and the page reloads with the tool ready to go. And then I can continue going through here and say, let's run this check. And there we go. This was not set up. And that's true. This was from a previous implementation. So I need to now go through this and say, hey, this is not right, this is not right, and this is not right. I can go to table of contents and I can run this check. And there we go. Everything is okay because the table of contents is in place and it's working. So there we go. It's that easy. You click a button and now you can check, hey, this is completely wrong. You have a whole bunch of problems here, or nope, this is good. Keep going.
Joe, Jan and Susan are asking, how do they get the bookmark? And I know you covered that as you were going through before. Can you show again?
I can. However, it seems that it will not come up on screen share because it's not going to show the Chrome bookmark tools.
Got it.
But what you're going to do is go and create a new bookmark and then use this code as the link to that bookmark. It's a little bit of JavaScript in the bookmark. And this JavaScript says, take the Windows location link, the webflow.io link, and add this query to the end of it and reload. So it's a dynamic bookmark, as you can think of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that page right there is on the Webflow, or I'm sorry, the attributes page, right? So if they go to the attributes website, there's a new support link in the menu, and when you click on that, you can scroll down to the page there and get to exactly where Joe was showing you that you can just copy that code and bring that right into your bookmarks bar and just set a bookmark with that dynamic little link and it'll load up like that.
Yep. And you only have to do it once.
And I'm just saying that maybe we can even add the bookmark for you with JavaScript. I was just wondering, like, why is the user doing it? Maybe we can just put a button and it does it for him or her. And I think that we can do it. So yeah, I'll give it a go later.
This is how things happen. This is literally it. Y'all are seeing it in real time. We just literally like, yeah, what about this? And Alex is like, well, maybe we could do it. And then a couple hours later, you get a message in Slack with a word.
And it's all to reduce one click, right? We're just going to reduce one click for you and one copy to clipboard and paste.
Less confusion. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so that is the automated support system, aka cover your ass tool for attributes to make sure everything's in right place. And so I think now we'll jump in to the rest of the attributes updates. If you have any questions, again, for Alex, we're not doing any support, but if you have technical questions or anything you want to ask, feel free to leave that in the comments. We will have a big Q&A section at the end of this. But let's take a look. So we covered the Ask launch. Joe, do we want to...
One more question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
One more question from Daniel. Mm-hmm. Daniel Brasnio says, is it only available from the designer? No, it's not even available in the designer. It is available on a web... Oh, it is? It's available on a webflow.io link. I thought you were saying yes to me.
I was agreeing to you. Yeah.
Webflow.io link. So any published Webflow.io link can launch the support tool. You cannot launch it from Designer. You cannot launch it on a custom domain. Only Webflow.io.
Nice. And let's
That's
see.
intended actually.
What's that?
So that's intended. You cannot do it on the live site just in case that somebody, some random user finds that.
Yeah, and then shares that link somewhere, and now everybody opening your custom domain also launches the support tool. We don't want that.
Jonathan says, crew looking clean in the new white tees. And then Penny says, do you think that's a coincidence or do they call each other? We did not choreograph this, honestly enough. Let's see. Joe did change right before. He had a gray shirt on and he saw we were both in white. So he did flip that. So I guess we got to keep it 100% all the time. 91, y'all, we're going to get a buzzer on a first product update. So let's go into what we were going to jump into before here. So we covered the Ask launch. Let's do a real quick overview of the API attributes. The attributes API and new attributes. What was I talking about there? Oh, maybe those are going to be the pro because we're talking about the stuff we're talking about with the pros next Wednesday. So do we want to jump into those, Joe?
Let's go API. I have it here shared on my screen.
Great.
We released this earlier in the month. This is the Attributes API. And what this allows you to do is write JavaScript code together with our no-code attribute solution. There's a full explanation here. We have a stream on it, but I highly recommend that you read through this. The getting started, the use cases, what it can be used for, what it cannot be used for, and some common confusions. This was updated since the first time we released it. So if you saw it on initial release, check it out again because we had a lot of questions and we addressed all of them inside this attributes page. So if I were to go to one of these solutions, let's say CMS filter, I would then be able to see this JavaScript API and what we can do with it. So this is going to let you just insert some code as you're using attributes for more custom solutions. Alex, what do you want to add to this?
Yeah, so the main use case for the API is because when you're using an attribute, you just put the attributes on the page. And when you load the page, the library does everything in the background. So it's just kind of like a plug and play. But sometimes you need to interact with what the library is doing in the background, even if it's just an element that's being handled with an attribute because, I don't know, you were filtering that element or the attribute was adding some styles on it. I don't know, whatever it could be happening depending on the attribute. You don't have any control on it out of the box. I mean, because you just add some attributes and everything is happening in the background. But with this API, you can actually interact with what's happening. So if some step of the logic of that attribute, you need to change it, or you need to add some extra things, some extra actions that are happening, the API it's your go-to because then you can put your logic right in there. And for now, it's a little bit limited because we haven't released much of the rest of attributes. But the idea is that we want to think of the best APIs in terms of we're trying to think ahead of what are the users going to need from the API so we can include those actions in here. Because it's not like, hey, we built an API and you can do everything. We need to think ahead of, okay, the user perhaps in this stage of this action, the user perhaps needs to access that element so it can mutate and add additional information. So we need to think about that before releasing it. I said it before, but if you have some use case that's not already handled by the API, please let us know, because once we publish the API, it's really hard to change it without causing breaking changes for the rest of the people who's already using it. And I'd say that's it. Just we keep, those videos. That's a good idea, showing those videos. If you wanted to know like what could be some use cases for these API, we released a bunch of videos of me coding, explaining how to build a specific use case, which is loading external data on an attributes collection list. that will help you understand a little bit more what you can do, what you could potentially also do with this API.
And this page uses the API. We
Yeah, it does.
are getting our information from JavaScript. We have one source of truth. Getting our information from GitHub with JavaScript. GitHub is our one source of truth for the API docs. And then we are appending that information to the page. With the API, we're able to use our table of contents. We're able to implement any of our attribute solutions to this page here. So yeah, very powerful. I highly recommend the tutorial videos. Even if you're not a coder, just watch them. Keep it in the back of your head. Maybe when you watch it in a year from now, you'll be a lot more comfortable with it. But start to understand how this works, because this could be a big difference between taking on a project and not being able to take on a project.
Yeah. Can you give, sure, we have this example here. Alex, could you give some other instances of where you might want to do something like this? I know we talked about some of like the greenhouse integrations that we were using, and like what other places might somebody want to pull, you know, like what's a practical use case outside of like what we're doing here?
Yeah, I'll use other attributes because we are always talking about the CMS attributes, but this is not only for CMS stuff, it's for all the attributes. So I'll talk about other ones that are coming up. So for example, the range slider. So that range slider that you just put some attributes, and automatically when the page loads, you already have those handles that you can drag and drop and do stuff with them. There are some use cases that perhaps you want to programmatically update that handle. So imagine that you have another thing going on the page. Maybe the user has completed a form or something, and with that data, you want to reflect it on the range slider. You could do it that with the API, because there's going to be a public method on that API that will let you update the value of the range slider. Let's imagine, for example, the copy to clipboard. The copy to clipboard, when you put the script, the attributes on the page, and then when you load the page, all the elements that were there, the library catches them, and you automatically can already copy by clicking on the buttons. But imagine that with another application, something that you have built on that specific page, you're generating on the go more buttons. So there's now a new button, and that new button, it's not the attributes library doesn't know about that button because it just scanned the page once. So there's going to be an API method that will allow you to rescan the buttons, because I want also that button to be part of copy clip, that's called. So it's basically anything, depending on the use case, anything that you could think with interacting with the elements that are taking part of that feature, of that attribute.
Yeah.
Totally awesome.
Do we take a second? I'd like to address this comment from Dale here. He says, personally, this is the deep end of the pool for me, but I'm so looking forward to growing into all this. Cannot wait to get there. And Lucas says, same here, Dale. And I feel the same way sometimes. I think because I don't develop websites professionally anymore, it's, you know, like I feel like this stuff, like I'm getting, you know, like, oh, like there's so much stuff here. Joe, any advice for other folks who might be feeling that way?
Be patient. This is for Dale specifically. Be patient with this stuff. You're going to watch the tutorial videos. You're going to be confused. You'll watch them again. You'll be confused. Oh, 100. Hey. Nice. But yeah, just keep going. We're going to continue releasing technical content for you. We're not just stopping at those 2 videos. This is one of his priorities for the year. So we're going to continue building on this. We're going to continue filming videos, maybe even some live streams where we live build things, and come to those. Just be motivated to learn it and be patient to actually catch on to that information.
Yeah. Anything to add there, Alex?
It's something that might seem scary at first. Once you get something to work, like you get those small I don't know how to call it, celebrations for yourself that you build something, that really helps you motivate. So it's not like you're going to fight something that will take you a long time. It's just once you start and you start slowly achieving small wins for you, you're going to just keep going. It motivates you. It's not like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The other
Nice.
thing too, and when this came up the other day, was to just learn it as you need the specific tool, or as you need the specific thing. Don't just go out and dump all this stuff into your head and get lost in it and confuse yourself if you don't need it specifically. Wait until it comes up. It's okay to maybe experiment with it if you've already, like, if you're super confident technically, and you're like capable 100% with all these other skills, and then you're like, okay, like let's dabble because it's a new thing that I might like to add, and you just want to play with it. That's one thing. But if you're still trying to get your hand around some of the other stuff and then this comes out, I wouldn't go and just say, hey, this is the newest thing, let me go get lost in this. Stay focused on what you're doing right now. And then as the use case comes up, or as you get comfortable or get to that next place, then go add another, arrow to your quiver, another tool to the arsenal.
Great way to learn. Absolutely.
And Robert's got a good one here too, Joe.
While I'm totally cool with it, I think as time goes on, the no coders are going to have to move closer to the coders, and the coders will have to move closer to the no coders. Yes, absolutely. People want to understand the code. This is no code. And people that are in no code want to learn how to code so they can do more with the platforms they're using. Absolutely. Both are going in that the same direction to meet in the middle. Totally agree with that, Robert.
Yep.
Alex, any thoughts there?
Using no code, you learn how to code.
Yeah.
I mean, no code is just an abstraction on top of code. So once you learn what you're building with no code, it helps you understand everything, and it just puts your game on the next level. So it's not the same of dragging and dropping stuff on a page and not knowing what's going on under the scenes, that actually understanding what's happening. And Webflow actually allows us to do that.
Yeah.
We'll learn a lot of HTML and CSS thanks to Webflow, because you need to understand what's happening. So I think that what Joe said, that we're kind of pushing to find a middle ground where no code and code meets, where no code people know what they're implementing. So it's not like they're doing stuff without knowing what's happening. So they actually understand what's happening. And the coders know that what they're writing have some specific impact on the pages. That's the sweet spot in the middle.
Yeah. I would actually think, Robert, that the coders will be the ones moving the no coders into the space, right? Like there are developers that are building tools like Webflow and Bubble and all these no code tools that we love to play with. And they are the ones that are abstracting the complexity of this code into visual interfaces for us. And so I actually think they are the ones that are moving us into the space, right? They're the ones that are building the on-ramps. And we talked about this the other day on GitHub. I saw something the other day that took some of the code comments and made them look very readable, very like a rich text element. And so to me, that looks like, hey, the coders are trying to figure out, how do I make this complex text more readable, and maybe not to be able to read the code specifically, but to understand what that little section of code, because it was like turning up a comment of a piece of code into like a nice little text element. And so to me, that looks like coders trying to figure out, how do we make this, like, how do we remove this barrier to entry? And then, conversely, on the no code side, this is Nicola Toledo saying here that no code is a gentle introduction to code. And I think that the more you get into the no code space, the more you want to it's like that gateway drug we've joked about a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's the best analogy, but it fits.
Nice. Okay. Do we continue?
Here's one more API question, and then we'll jump into the next section.
Can I use the API to dynamically create and change filters from an Airtable database? Alex.
Yep. Just watch the second part video of the ones that we released. Actually, that video is just for doing that. So if you watch it, you'll see.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, great. So do
we have one more thing on attributes?
Yeah, we're going to go over at the pro meeting. So you want to talk about that list you came up and how we're going to do that next, I guess it's 2 weeks from now.
We have a list of maybe 40 different new attribute solutions. These would be developed over, let's say, the next year. We're going to let the pros choose what we develop first. So at the next pro meeting, which is in 2 weeks from now, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, you will be able to see all of these attributes that we're considering and vote on them. It will be an interactive session where you get to vote or place your comments on the attributes that you find the most valuable in your workflow. We will identify what the most popular attribute solutions are, and those will be at the top of the list for new development. We are going to do another sprint for attributes probably in a month or two from now. So this voting, this information we get from you is going to go directly into that first sprint.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah, and if you're a pro, that's and you want to shape the future of this, that's where to show up. Come to the and we'll have a little something actually extra special at that meeting too that we won't tell you about right now. We may announce it next week, but yeah, we'll have something extra special at that pros only meetup, and then also that week, the Thursday after that hangout. So if you're a pro, check the calendar. We're going to be going through and prioritizing those things at the next pro meetup. Alex, I see you smiling. Got anything to add there?
I don't know, because I was actually trying to think what's that that you're suggesting, because maybe I don't even know it.
Nobody knows it. It's just
okay.
It just come into fruition literally yesterday. Yesterday at the end of business, we got like an outline of the itinerary and are kind of coming up with the plan. So
nice.
It's all coming as we speak, y'all. Real time. I know you all think there's like lots of planning and perfect execution here, but lots of times we're just really good at improvising and pulling things together, and like. All right, Joe. So after the attributes, we're going into what is it? Extension stuff, right?
Yes. We have vertical canvas resizing, which I am bringing up right now. I forgot to bring this example up.
No worries.
You might want to zoom out a little bit, Joe, because the issue with the zooming was still not solved. And I'll comment about it in a second.
Great. Okay, so here inside Finsweet extension, we have our candies tab, and a new candy is the vertical canvas resizing tool.
Let's start with the logging in, just the needing to be logged in for that one, right?
Yeah, about to do that. So I can turn this active vertical canvas resize. Oh, okay. It looks like I'm automatically authenticated.
It's stored. Yeah, it's stored your session.
So the first time that you try to access this, you'll be asked to authenticate with the Finsweet account. So you'll log in, you'll be redirected, you'll log in with your Finsweet account, you get back to this designer view, and now you have access to vertical canvas resizing. This is a pro-only feature for 30 days, and after 30 days, it's opened up to the general public. Since I have authed in the past, it's now remembered in Chrome. I don't have to go and do that again. So I'm ready to go. I'm signed in as a pro. And now what I'm able to do is see this really nice bar on the bottom that lets me vertically resize this canvas. As we know, we're able to do this. Right? This is something that's been in Webflow since forever. But we have not been able to do this. And we found that it was very difficult for us to manage some of our mobile designs because you don't really know how the height of the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 6 or whatever. And now when you go and go through these different vertical breakpoints, we're going to show you which devices fall on those breakpoints. And we have mimicked the exact devices that are seen on the width resizing that Webflow offers. You'll also see here on the top, we have this is default from Webflow. This is not through Finsweet. And when you go here on the right, you will see that this is Finsweet canvas resizing. And this is specific to the vertical canvas resizing. I can also go and choose a preset. Let's say, hey, I want the iPad 2017, 2018, and now I'm resized for that. Or let's zoom out more so I can get little bit more.
Do you want to
view
go to
here.
the mobile breakpoint too, the width, so it's kind of more
Sure,
reflective of yeah.
Sure. And here we go. I'm now navigating through these different breakpoints, and I can go and vertically change. Keep in mind that this does not change the width. We are unable to adjust the width for you automatically, but we can adjust the vertical height for you. So I can vertically change the canvas here. We have any questions?
No, just people. Rahul says he showed this feature off to some colleagues and they were very jelly.
Nice. Great.
When did we release this for the pros? Was a couple weeks ago?
Weeks ago.
It was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
So it's actually not 30 days that they need to wait. Just a couple more weeks.
Couple more. Yeah, a couple more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, those were the two big updates. I know it doesn't seem like a lot for maybe if you're looking from the outside, but the ability to log in to that extension with Finsweet means that we can do a lot of other things. So Alex, do you want to talk a little bit about just the SSO we have in general, logging in with Finsweet in general? That's kind of new as of the Finsweet Pro account stuff. So maybe we can take a moment and pick your brain a little bit about how that system works and kind of what the functionality is of that, or what people might use that login with Finsweet functionality for.
Yeah. So the idea that we had in mind already since the start with the Finsweet accounts concept, it was that it should be as easy to use as your Google account. So the way that Google works is you just create a Gmail account and automatically you have access to everything from Google, to Gmail, to Calendar, to Meet, all Google services. So we actually took that idea and we implemented the same in Finsweet. It's a generally known concept, which is called an SSO. It's basically your account. It's handled from one single place, and then multiple applications, they can access that. And thanks to that, we can implement these kind of features. You don't need to be constantly logging into separate places. We can just pull up a new screen that goes to my.finsweet.com. And in there, we can check if you're actually a Finsweet user, and we can see your subscriptions and see if you're a pro user. So this allows us to deeply integrate with all the products that we already have, websites, because we also built a kind of like a attributes version for building Finsweet account pages. I don't know how to call it. You can understand it kind of like an Finsweet member stack version. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it, but we have our own system to implement protected sites using the Finsweet platform. So yeah, we have prepared everything so we can keep building stuff scalably. And people who are just Webflow devs, they can create new sites specific for pro users. They don't need a developer for it. And once we create new products, also we can integrate with the Finsweet accounts. Everything is coming up together.
We have a lot of internal attributes. So what you see on the attributes website is for you, the public, for whatever you want to use on your publish page. We also have our own set of attributes that we use internally, and the auth is one of them. So a developer that doesn't know how to code, like Alex said, can go right into Designer, set up a page, put the Finsweet auth attributes that we have available, and then go and publish that page very quickly, no code. And now we can start making landing pages and protected content and gated content that is connected to our Finsweet SSO account.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. It has huge implications for down the road, how products integrate and how you are able to log into different experiences across that whole Finsweet ecosystem, and more importantly, just Webflow ecosystem. So
yeah. Cool. All right. Let's continue moving here.
Yep.
The next thing on our list is, it's not necessarily a product update. It's an update that we've made internally as an agency. We're getting more technical projects. There is more technical work coming to Webflow. I can guarantee it, because this past year we've seen a major, major increase of this. And that means it's going to happen all throughout the community, not just at Finsweet. So with more technical development, we have to have better processes in place. When we first started technical work, we were writing code inside page settings. Then we improved it. So we have a fairly large improvement that Alex will explain that's going to help us work with bigger clients with bigger technical requirements in Webflow. Alex,
Yeah.
what do we have?
Yeah, and let me just share the link in the comments, because this is something that you might be benefited from it if you are somebody that codes in your Webflow projects. This that I shared in the page, and maybe
Is this the
Joe that you
GitHub
have
link?
yeah, maybe Joe
Let
that
me
you have
do
an
this.
admin
I got it
link.
here.
Yeah. Okay. Most of the projects that we create for clients or for internal projects in Finsweet are based on this template. This is a repository that you can clone as a template, and you can create a new repository from it. And it includes all the tools that we usually use on our day-to-day development. So it has a lot of tooling that's meant for code quality, for bundling the code, for formatting the code, adding some helpers in it. You have a bunch of things. And if you check the documentation, the description that Reimer is sharing right now, you can see what's built in. And this is what we use. This is how every single new developer that comes into Finsweet, the first thing that I do with them is I just show, I send them to this template and tell them, please get comfortable with this, because every new client project that we build or any new product that we build, it's probably going to start with this template. So the template is public and it's available to everyone. And I highly recommend that if you would like to code something in your websites, in your Webflow projects, you give it a look, because it's going to help you a lot step up your game with code. It includes, it's ready for TypeScript. So I always encourage everyone to go with TypeScript, but it also includes a lot of things with some workflows for constantly checking if your code is correctly. So it has some CI and CD workflows in place to deploy everything, to keep track of the semantic versions, to update the changelog. It has all the processes built in, and they are explained here in the documentation. So I could just make a did walkthrough, but that would take a lot of time. So I recommend that every one of you, just if you're interested in it, just go ahead with the documentation and maybe try to clone that, create a new repository from it and play around with it, because I'm sure it will help more than one person to in their day-to-day development.
Yeah, and this continues on in the spirit of just not just doing things at Finsweet here, but just like laying out ways for other folks to also do interesting things on the back of what we're doing. Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about a philosophy of making this open to the community as opposed to just, again, keeping this internally for us?
Yes, absolutely. As we find more technical development in Webflow, we want Finsweet to be the leader of that. So we want to essentially open source what we are doing on the development side. That doesn't mean we open source everything, but for something like this, a starter template, a way to properly write code in Webflow, this is important to us. We want this to be done right by the community. Right? If people come to Webflow and they see a lot of technical work being done incorrectly, maybe they won't take Webflow as seriously. So this is an effort for people to take Webflow very seriously when it comes to technical work, because we do the technical work, we love it, it works, our clients see the improvement in their workflow after it's all done, and it all starts from this template.
Yeah.
And I'd love to answer a question from Penny. Penny says, what knowledge does someone need to have to develop with this template? And earlier, Penny asked if the jQuery course that we released is going to help you be able to use Attributes API. And I see these being answered in the same answer here. The answer is no. The jQuery course is not going to set you up for using this template. And actually, Alex doesn't like the jQuery course. He recommended against it, and it's barred from his list of valuable resources. The jQuery course is really good if you just want to start understanding how code works. If you have no understanding, zero, and you say, let me jump into code and I just want to see like a little bit of how this stuff works, I think the jQuery course is a good place to start. It may help you implement some more third-party libraries into Webflow. It may help you with some little micro things that you can do in Webflow to improve the publish page. But the jQuery course will absolutely not set you up to use this template. And if your intention is to be a web developer and develop complex applications, that's not what the jQuery course is. jQuery course is, I'm just checking it out. I just want to have some fun integrating third-party libraries. You will have to learn really the core concepts of code to really take advantage of that starter template and actually use it for client websites. And we have a course that we can share with you. This is a course that Alex took. This is a course that he has recommended publicly. And this is the course we recommend at Finsweet for all of our Webflow developers that want to take the jump into JavaScript. So I will go and look for that course and share it in the comments. Alex, anything to add to that?
No, I think you explained it perfectly. So people, because basically jQuery, it's an abstraction of JavaScript. So that there's the confusion. Here's where it comes the confusion for a lot of people. jQuery, it's not a language itself. JavaScript is a language, and jQuery is just a library that has some abstractions on top of JavaScript to help you implement some things a little bit faster. 10 years ago, it was a lot faster. Nowadays, most of the biggest benefits of jQuery, they are built in just JavaScript, but it's still a good way of, doing something quick. You have a quick helper from jQuery to add a CSS class to an element, something like that. So what Joe said about, playing around and having a small win, as I said before, like I did something. I changed a CSS class with just a couple lines of code. That's something that helps you a lot to both motivate you and also implement quick things in your site. But if you want to really invest in learning how to code from the ground up, I always strongly recommend that you just learn the basis of the language. So you take a JavaScript course, you try to understand how the language works. And at the point that you understand how jQuery is built on top of JavaScript, that's the good, that's the point where you're understanding really about the language. You could build jQuery yourself. That's a great moment that you have. So yeah, it's just different mentality with the jQuery course. I think it has a specific goal that it does it very, very, very well.
Nice.
Great.
And the course URL has been added to the chat. We're also going to add that to the description for anybody watching this later, not through the chat. Check that out. Alex took that course, right, Alex? That was your first intro to JavaScript.
It was an older version because it was a few years ago, but they have been updating it, and I really like that specific course because they explain a lot of the basis. So they don't just tell you, hey, just write that line, it's going to happen this. They actually explain to you like how the browser processes the code, what's going on under the hood to make everything work. It gives you the strong base that you need to understand, that fully understand the language. I always recommend this course. It's really great.
Yeah, we need to get an affiliate link, yo.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yeah, right. I've shared that like 20 times. We do need one.
The Flow agency is asking, Alex, how does TypeScript enter into that learning journey? So can you then evolve from there into TypeScript?
Yes. Okay, how can I explain that being as non-technical as possible? Basically, TypeScript is going to come once you've worked enough with JavaScript and you've learned the flaws that the language has. In JavaScript is what's called a dynamically typed language, which just summarizing, it's basically that you can write whatever the hell you want with JavaScript. And the language, it doesn't care if it works or not until you put it on the browser and you get errors. That's how JavaScript works. This is the main idea of it. But when you're serious about what you're coding and you really want to build something that has quality and you want to make sure that there are no errors, what you want to do is check all of that before you're shipping it to the browser, right? And also improve what you're writing accordingly to the potential issues that you're going to encounter later on when you ship that code to the browser. So TypeScript is just a layer on top of JavaScript that actually adds that for you. It adds static typing, so you know at all the time what the code it's working with, what the code it's dealing with, and if there's something that could potentially go wrong. TypeScript just tells you that. And it's hugely beneficial once you start building something that is bigger than 20 lines of code. Actually, I always use it, even if it's just one line of code. And the reason is because TypeScript itself scans the code and it knows what's going on because it needs to tell you the errors. And because it knows what's going on, it actually hints you with way more information that you could get with JavaScript. It tells you, hey, this, for example, you're interacting with an image element on the page. JavaScript knows that that's an image. So JavaScript knows that if you type the image.source, because an image has a source, JavaScript hints you that, hey, there is a source here. You can use that. JavaScript doesn't care. You could be working with, a text block, and the text block, you would be adding a source on top of it, and JavaScript wouldn't care. But TypeScript tells you and hints you about what you can and you cannot do with the stuff that you're working with. It helps a lot once you yeah.
Follow-up question, Alex. Do you think TypeScript can help people like this video?
Yeah.
Can we type a script to get everyone watching to leave a like on the video? That'd be great.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so we're super interested in the technical side, as you may know. And we're going to continue building on this starter template. We're going to continue releasing tutorials based in TypeScript. So keep following. Anytime we release one of those, just watch it, check it out, try to implement it into a real project, and that's you'll learn it over time.
Nice.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Let's continue to what's coming next. We have gotten to the end of the list here for what has come. This was the past month of releases. And now let's talk about what's coming, hopefully this next month, maybe the month after. We don't have any official deadlines for this or release dates, but we want to tell you what's going on here. So, Reimar, if you can give me the screen share.
Oh, yeah.
Nobull Airtable. This is something that a lot of people have been using, and it's good. However, there are lots of issues with it. We don't have the proper error reporting. We don't have the proper logs. There are just some issues with it. And we had trouble placing a developer on this project for the next update. So it's been sitting in beta for almost a year now. May 13th, that's last updated. It's been sitting in beta for a while now. We now have a developer working on it actively at Finsweet, full-time employee. And we are going to push a new update to Airtable with all of the feedback that we've gotten for the past 6 months, 8 months. We are going to have logs. We're going to have error messages. We're going to have syncing views. You'll be able to create a view and sync just a view instead of an entire table. And yeah, we're getting back on Nobull. We didn't forget about it. We just needed to find that right developer to continue with it. So that'll be nice. We use it for clients, maybe not on an ongoing basis, but at least to start syncing the databases, to get it from one place to another. So now with this next release, we think maybe we can use this on production and give our clients this app to use all the time. And we want you to use it with your clients too. Great.
And all with the Finsweet account. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This will start to be integrated. This is going to be part of our official product offering. It's been in beta. Now it's going to be official. Okay. Also coming, moving on from Nobull, is Client First. We are working actively in V2 of Client First. I'm going to give you a preview of the pages, the new pages. V1 of client first is very valuable to a lot of people. It gives a lot of information. It can be formatted better. It can explain some things better. We've heard a lot of feedback about how we presented V1 docs, and it's now going into the V2. So instead of having 2 or 3 massively large pages, we are now breaking content into much smaller chunks, very specific to that content type. So we have our class strategy, core structure strategy, sizes and rem, typography, folders, which we'll get to. We're adding more to our accessibility docs. We have an HTML semantic tags page coming up and a lot of other supporting content. This is a huge, huge update. If you found value in V1 client first, this is a whole new system. And a whole new system, let me rephrase that. It's really the same system. There's very little that changed. We're making some small edits. We've changed the way that we're explaining the system to you. So we had good concepts in V1, but they weren't explained in the best way possible. This is a better way to explain it. And you can see we have our table of contents. We're getting super visual. So every page is going to be filled with visuals, graphics, videos. You can see we really want you to learn this visually, not just with text, because some people are very visual learners. And I could even say most people in Webflow are very visual learners. So we are going to accompany that and make sure that this content is really easy to learn. Nice. That's client first. Oh, and do we have any questions, or should we go to folders of client first?
Client first V2 was a question or just a comment from Lucas. And I guess just to clarify what Joe said, it's mostly the docs that are being updated. And there's going to be an update here with the folders that we'll share here in a second. But yeah, so if you've learned client first and you're invested in this and you're like, oh, it's changing V2. No, you don't. It's not like an overhaul where this is not like a full rewrite of client first. This is just a easier way to digest and understand it.
It's actually completely backwards compatible, which is great. That if you have a previous client first build, it's still client first. There is no, you don't have an outdated client first build. All the same principles are in place. A couple of tiny naming updates, a couple of tiny feature updates, and that's really it. So yeah, don't be concerned that we're giving you a whole new system. It's the same system.
Yeah. And we're also working to try to translate it. So if you're out there and interested in maybe helping us translate some of that, we've shared some links. Victoria, maybe we can make sure we get that link in the description of this video as well. So if anybody's interested in bringing this this documentation into another language, we're looking for support with that as well.
And a big update is folders. This will give you more visual control of your classes inside Designer. This is what it looks like. We've shown this preview a few times in the past, and now it's in active development. You'll have a utility classes folder. You'll have folders for all of your custom classes. You'll be able to rename classes by folder, and you'll be able to really see the entire project and how the classes look in the project. With Webflow, we have a really good view of the HTML of the project, and we have a really good view of how classes work with those HTML nodes, but not as much all the classes of the project. So this is our effort to show the classes of the project and organize and rename and refactor. So maybe something is no longer called the home testimonials. Now it's called the contact testimonials. I can rename all of the classes in home testimonials to contact testimonials in one click. So if you're using something like a Reloom library, this becomes hugely, hugely valuable to you in a sense that you can now completely rename entire components before you put them into Webflow. So you will avoid the renaming of classes. You'll avoid the confusion of a component that's named for something else. And I think this is going to be a big, big workflow improvement for client-first users.
Yeah.
Alex, can you share with folks how this, because, if I'm a Webflow dev and I'm like, hey, I know how classes work in Webflow, how would I put that in a folder? So can you explain to folks how this is working based on the underscore system and how this is going to just self-generate these folders based on the client first?
Oh, wait. I actually don't want to share that.
Okay.
Let's not share that until we're ready to go.
Got it.
We have a system for this, but we're not going to release that system until we're launching.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, let's call it proprietary.
Shut your mouth, Rymar.
Too much.
I told you we don't plan these things, y'all. Soon y'all start believing us. Okay. All right. So anything else about folders then that we want to address with the crowd here? Alex or Joe?
Not me. This is going to help you a lot. Once you understand the concept of folders, it's going to help you a lot with your day-to-day workflow if you're using client first, as we presented to you in this new documentation.
Yeah, totally.
Great.
Can we talk about the small win that we had? That's actually not from us, but from Webflow that they published today.
Sure.
About the zooming text. It's just a quick mention to the update.
Of course. Yes. We are very happy about a new Webflow update, and that update is here in the Webflow canvas settings. And you can see here that we have this text zoom preview. I'm getting a lot of feedback from somebody here. Rymar, Alex?
Yeah, not me.
Is it me? New loud noise.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll continue. It's this text zoom preview where you can go and change the text zoom of the project. And this is such a great way to see how a user may experience your site based on their browser font settings. So maybe somebody has their browser font settings set to small, or too large, or too extra large. And now I can see how somebody that uses extra large is going to experience my website. The beautiful part of this is it works so well with REMs. That is a real beauty of the REM system, where it completely changes and it adjusts to those browser font settings. So here with the browser font setting preview, we're really good checking our client first site in REMs.
When you
Anything
work
to
with
add to that?
pixels, if you're building with pixels, that specific feature will do nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there we go. That's one of the.
Alex, do you want
use REM.
do you want to share a little more on that? Do you want to? I know you had a specific.
Well, we talked about it when we had the comparisons with Wizardry and all that stuff. We released a lot of learning content, a lot of content around that. And basically, this is simulating a user changing the font settings of the browser. And if you're using pixels, that has no effect at all. So the main reason why we use RAMs, and aside from other benefits that we have, is that it's accessible. It respects the font settings of the user, and this feature shows it. And this feature allows us to demonstrate how it works.
Do you think this is a sign that Webflow is shifting more towards responsive units in their native instruction?
Could be. We were commenting it before, because most of the content that Webflow has released, and it's still releasing, it's not compatible with this feature. So there's got to be something in their team that they're cooking to change this, so they wouldn't have released that, or at least they acknowledge that they have to make the changes so it pairs up with their accessibility roadmap.
Yeah.
The accessibility team at Webflow has been really on fire lately. I feel like a lot of the most recent updates have been accessibility focused. That's what this is. So yeah, great job, Webflow team. We love this update.
Yeah.
We do.
Let's see. Spencer's asking here, based on that font zoom feature, can we have another review of the REM process and fluid script? So maybe asking another deep dive on the client first stuff, the responsive process. So that's maybe a suggestion for a future episode. Yeah. And Daniel's saying, let's get to the pizza, y'all. Okay, so I think, do we have any other major bullets here that we need to bring up? I think that's the end of our update, right? Other than just any Q&A that y'all might have.
Yeah.
So if there's any other questions, feel free to leave them, and then we'll transition into, Joe's little session. And then, I've been over here sniffing on.
Hey.
It's been over here just tempting, and yeah. So
Wow.
I would have eaten it. I don't care.
I figure I'd just be like chomping on the mic. You just see me over here mute myself. You guys are just like, you guys take it from here.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't see any more questions.
All right.
Let's go right into this pineapple pizza thing. If you've been with us, you know that we've been joking all week about pineapple pizza. And should you put pineapple on your pizza? Should you not?
No, you
We've had a
definitely should
lot of votes, and it's been kind of 50-50 for each one. So I put out a tweet on maybe Wednesday that said, if I get over 50 likes, I'm going to now cook a pineapple pizza dish, a pineapple pizza salad, and then present it on the Friday stream. So now we're on the Friday stream. Last night, I cooked and documented the process, and I put together a Webflow build this morning to show the pineapple pizza concepts. I did. I did.
Wow.
I woke up a little bit early today, and I just put together this little presentation. So if we go to the share screen.
Yeah, and I got to be real clear here. My beef is not with pineapple. I really like pineapple. I just don't like pineapple on pizza. So, with all that being said, go ahead, Joe. Show me what you got here.
All right, we have some pineapple pizza concepts, and I'm going to explain why these can work, why you may not like pineapple pizza, and how maybe you can reconsider after this presentation. So we'll be going over 3 different options: the pizza 1, the pizza 2, and the pizza salad, which is actually the same exact ingredients that you find on the pizza, but here in the salad form. This all comes from the tweet. This tweet was super, super popular here. I was expecting 50 likes. It got over 100. So I kind of went a little ridiculous on this. I think any opportunity you have to be ridiculous in your business and be natural, go for it. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay, common problems and misconceptions here. Number 1, large pieces of pineapple. This is going to destroy your pizza. If you have large pieces of pineapple, you can have a heavy pineapple to bite ratio, as you can see from here. Look at the size of this standard pineapple slice. Look at the size of this little tiny guy. And when you have these giant slices, you will find that over 50% of your ingested ingredients per bite will actually be mostly pineapple. This is where the problem lies, because it's a pineapple pizza, not a pineapple with a little bit of pizza on top. It's a pizza with a little bit of pineapple. So over pineappling is one of these common problems that really drives people away from this.
Over pineappling.
Over pineappling.
Official terms.
How technical can you be with this presentation?
Hold on.
Well, after the tweet got over 50 likes, I thought, well, I got to sell this.
Got to go for it.
People want this content.
Joe, can I throw one contrast at your shot here? Look at the. Hang on. Let's look at this one. This is David Wong. David Wong tagged Melissa and I in this yesterday because people in the community have been keeping up. So this is pizza with or pineapple with a pizza on it instead of pizza with pineapple.
That is funny.
Okay, so back to your screen, Joe. I'm sorry.
Another thing that we've done here is not cooked the pineapple. No pineapple in the oven. The pineapple is chopped small and it is still cold. That's how we love pineapple. We love the freshness of it, the flavor. Once you put it in the oven, it gets hot, it gets wet, it gets soggy, and that's going to disperse across the entire slice of pizza. And it's going to really, I want to say infect the other ingredients. So we have a potential for wet pizza. That's a big no. With all of these, the pineapple was sprinkled on top upon serving, not in the oven. So let's go into each one and I'll show you the ingredient list. Pineapple pizza number 1. We have bacon, we have serrano peppers, and we have pineapple. The serrano pepper can be replaced with something like a jalapeno or some other fresh pepper. Notice how we have cold. Pineapple's cold. The serrano has the option for hot or cold. We want our meat to always be hot. We don't want a cold pizza. We just want this flavor burst on top. Also, pineapple patted dry. We don't want wet, soggy pineapple. This was patted dry. Still flavorful, still juicy, but not juicing all over the pizza. We have our bacon. We have our serrano, small chopped, gotta be small. This is the full form, but I chopped it more fine. We have our pineapple. Look at the size of these little guys. And there we go. We have a delicious pineapple pizza. Check, number 1. Pizza number 2, similar, Mexican inspired. We have our ground beef, hot. We have our onion, our cilantro. These are cold, sprinkled on top, and that's going to pair so well with the cold pineapple. These will come together. It's going to give you a really nice flavor burst without really getting into too much of the cheese or sauce of that pizza. And here we go. We got our ground beef image. We have our cilantro image with the chopped onion, and we have our pineapple, of course. And we have, again, this delicious pineapple
I'm just
pizza.
losing, like I'm trying to do my best because cold pineapple too. I've lost it.
Really?
I've lost it, Joe.
I would enjoy that, actually.
Here's the thing, though. It's so small. It's just an added flavor. It doesn't take over.
I know.
It's
Y'all
not
are
like this
tripping.
big giant piece.
Y'all
It's
are
a little
tripping.
tiny piece. Little tiny piece.
Victoria, thank you for being a little bit of rationality here. I still prefer pizza without pineapple.
Now, let me add one more thing before we go through these comments. Raul, come on.
Okay, let's let him finish his presentation here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I also don't prefer pineapple on pizza. If I were to order my pizza or prepare my pizza, I'm not putting pineapple on it. However, I think it's acceptable and I think it is good. And I want to be the voice of those pineapple people. So, yeah, just that disclaimer.
Joe's out here playing pineapple devil's advocate,
comment.
y'all.
Yes, I am. All right, the pizza salad. This one actually blew me away. I was so surprised by this. It totally works. It was my favorite part of the meal last night. And it has the same ingredients as the pizza. We have the Oaxaca cheese. We have the cherry tomatoes. We have the cucumber. We have the pineapple. And we have an olive oil vinaigrette. Same ingredients. So if you say the ingredients don't work together, this is proof. Try this. It was unbelievable. We have the Oaxaca cheese. If you're not familiar with this, it's sort of like a string cheese, kind of mozzarella-y, and yeah, totally works here. We have the cherry tomato. We have the cucumber, the non-spicy pepper, and of course, our favorite pineapple. We have the olive oil vinaigrette, and there we go, pineapple pizza. We have the bread, and we have all the matching ingredients, and this was just a total rocker.
Wow.
All right, that's my presentation. A little ridiculous, and I'm happy about that.
Nice.
Wow. The amount of commitment put in here is just blowing my mind.
Yeah. The comments.
Joe, I'm in your team. I'm in your team.
Alex, your team pineapple pizza?
Did I transfer you?
With that presentation, I'm like you. I prefer not the pineapple on my pizza, but honestly, if you just cook it like that for me, I will eat it always with pineapple. Just because of the amount of effort and I love putting there.
I think even amongst our people who would agree with you on the pineapple here, like you would have a split over the folks who are raw versus cooked.
Yeah.
Because I think like maybe a little bit of the char or the warmth would like maybe sell me over the edge. I don't know. Maybe okay, Alex is saying, do you recommend hot sauce to go with it? So here's the real question, Joe. Like what's, some of the ingredients are spicy here, but.
Yeah. I didn't want to put a sauce on it because it would just look, you wouldn't be able to see the individual ingredients. I think you can go with a type of buffalo sauce on here. I think you can put a tzatziki on here. Any type of like a garlic cream, I think would work really well on either of these pizzas. And that also is going to really subdue that pineapple taste. Remember, we just want a little bit of pineapple love. We don't want a full pineapple. So the more ingredients you can put on, I think the more the pineapple really works.
I quit. I'm leaving. I have to go find a new place to work. Y'all. It's over. Hot take: pineapple pizza references will overtake fried chicken at CloneCon 2022. Nice. The Greek wouldn't add tzatziki. Let's see. Joe Crew, good job. All right. Well, is it time for me to eat my non-pineapple pizza yet?
Nice.
Tonight I'm
and this is what I was worried about. Having a full mouth while you're trying to
yeah, you're just making me.
Go ahead, Alex.
Ooh, nice. Okay, Flow Agency. I can recommend duck and hoisin sauce with the pineapple. That's an interesting one. I don't see a problem with going sweet here. There's no problem with that extra sweet. I like that idea, Flow Agency. Thank you, Andres. Okay.
Petition to rename candies to pineapples in Finsweet extension. A 24-hour rename. That's funny.
Well, I think the pineapple pizza will live and die in this week. Mm-hmm. I think it took life on Monday. It's over. And now on Friday, we need to debate about something else starting next week.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. That's the prompt. That's the closing prompt. What's the crazy debate for next week, y'all? Spencer has a real important question. Did you set those ingredients on the carpet for the photos? That's like a stone table maybe, right? Or a counter?
Yeah. Yes, definitely not carpet. It's a clean stone. Yeah.
Pineapple goes very well with pork tacos as well. Yes, correct. Just not mine. Yep. Joe should patent the Pastor pizza. Hey.
Yeah.
Number 2 looks like a Euro pizza with pineapple. I'm sold. Nice. Okay. Costco was selling that in Mexico, like tacos al pastor. Nice. Okay, y'all are too much. Well done, Joe. Your efforts and commitment are much appreciated, says Zach.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. That is all. Appreciate you all. Alex, any final thoughts here? How'd you enjoy your first appearance, your first live product update?
It was awesome. I really enjoy being here and just chatting with you and the audience and everyone. Yeah, very happy to be here.
Nice. Joe Dell wants to know if the pizzas are clonable.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to ship them. We'll open an e-commerce store.
Freeze-dried Finsweet pizzas. We reviewed a site. Speaking of, on Monday, what started this all was a fake pizza website. It was a fake pizza website that Melissa and I explored in the Webflow showcase. And Melissa's like, oh, this pizza doesn't look super appealing, blah, blah, blah. And so that started the whole conversation. And we scrolled down and saw the thing, and that got everyone started. And it turned out to be a total like fake e-commerce store selling pizza. So full circle. That's a perfect loop back to the beginning of the week, Joe. We're going to start a fake e-commerce store so you can clone your pizzas.
We can do a product on launch with the store also.
Oh, nice.
All right, Monstergeddon throwing some love out here. Slow claps for Joe. We love Alex. There you go, getting some love. Guessing having the recipe makes it clonable. Thank you, guys. Okay, another top session. Piña sweet.
Piña sweet.
Some of those English as second language translations might get awkward for that piña sweet. All right, we're going to leave it at that before we say anything stupid and get canceled in the real world. Bye, y'all.